Welcome to this Crochet Giraffe tutorial. Today I will be showing you how to crochet this giraffe plushie. Let's get straight into it. So the materials that you will need are a 5mm crochet hook, scissors, a yarn needle. You will need 12mm safety eyes. You will also need yellow and brown yarn. I am using Premier Parfait chunky yarn, but you can use whichever yarn you like. And finally, you will need stuffing. So to start off, we're going to grab our crochet hook and we will grab our brown chunky yarn as well as our yellow chunky yarn, as we will be color changing to it soon. So we're going to begin with our brown yarn and we're going to start by making a magic ring. So I'm going to show you how to make the 2-chain method of the magic ring, which is an easier method in my opinion. So we're going to begin by making a slip knot. So we just make an X with our yarn and we are just going to pull through to make a slip knot. And we'll just tighten the slip knot. And then we are going to chain 2. So yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over and pull through again. So now you have 2 chains on your hook. So now the first chain is going to act as our magic ring. So we're going to be doing our single crochets into that first chain. So to start off for round 1, we're going to do 5 single crochets into the magic ring. So this is round 1 complete, and now for round 2 we are going to do 5 increases. This will take us up to 10 stitches. An increase is doing 2 single crochets into each stitch. So for the following round, we are just going to single crochet all the way around. So we're going to be single crocheting for 10 stitches. And after this round, we will color change to yellow, which I will show you how to do. So once we are on to the last stitch, we are going to begin our single crochet by going into the stitch and then pulling through the yarn. So now we have 2 loops on our hook. But then we are going to grab our yellow yarn and we are actually going to finish off the single crochet with the yellow yarn. So we're going to pull through with the yellow yarn. So now you've color changed to yellow. And now we just need to tie the yellow and the remaining brown yarn together. So I'm just going to do a double knot and then I will cut off the brown yarn. So now that we have cut off the brown yarn and color changed to yellow, we are now just going to single crochet for 3 rounds straight. So we're going to single crochet around the outside 3 times. So once you have completed those 3 rounds of single crochets, we can now finish off. So we don't need to leave much of a tail, as the legs will not be sewn on, they will be crocheted onto the body. So we will only need to leave a very small tail. So I'm just going to grab my scissors and cut right there. And then we can just pull through and finish off. So now you have completed 1 giraffe leg, and you are going to have to make 3 more giraffe legs. So go ahead and make 3 more of these legs, and then we can move on to the body. So once you have made 4 legs, so you can see here we have 4 of the giraffe's legs, we can put them to the side as we're going to begin crocheting the body. So for the body, we're going to grab our yellow yarn, and we're going to begin by making a magic ring, just like we did before. We do the slip knot, and then we chain 2. And now we are going to do 8 single crochets into the first chain. So 8 single crochets into our magic ring for the first round. So now, once you have done 8 single crochets into the magic ring, for the next round we are going to do 8 increases, and this will take us up to 16 stitches. So once we have completed that round, we're going to put our stitch marker in, and I just like to use a bit of scrap yarn as my stitch marker. So during the next round, we will be crocheting the legs on. So grab your legs, and we're just going to pop them here, and you're going to grab your first leg. So for the first part, we are going to be doing 2 single crochets with the leg. So ultimately what that means is we'll be going through the leg and the body at the same time. So we already have our hook in the body just as we were before, but we are going to look at the leg and we're going to find the first stitch from the last round. So you can see this is the last stitch from the last round, the one that has the tail coming out of it. And then the one next to it that's a lot lower is the first stitch from the last round. So we're going to go into that stitch while our hook is still in the body from the inside. So we'll go into the first stitch of the last round from the inside. So now what we are going to do is we are also going to go into the next stitch of the body at the same time. So we've already got our hook through the first stitch of the last round in the leg, and now we need to go into the next stitch of the body as well. So just find the next stitch of the body, it's right here. And we're just going to put our hook through that as well. So we simultaneously have our hook through the leg and the body. And now we are just going to do a single crochet, and we're just going to single crochet through both of those stitches. And then for the second stitch with the leg, we're going to go into the last stitch from the last round of the leg. So the one that's higher up and has the tail coming out of it. So we're going to put our hook into that stitch from the inside, and we're going to put our hook once again into the next stitch of the body. So just find the next stitch of the body, and now we are going to single crochet through both of those. Now we are going to do 3 single crochets just into the body. So ignore the leg, we're just going to do 3 single crochets into the 3 next stitches of the body. And now you are going to grab your next leg. So I have mine here, and we're going to do the exact same thing as we did before. So we're going to find the first stitch of the last round of the leg, so the one that's lower down, and we're going to go into it from the inside. So we put our hook into it, and then we're going to find the next stitch of the body, and we're also going to put our hook into that. And now we're going to single crochet. And now we'll put our hook into the last stitch of the last round of the leg from the inside, and then the next stitch of the body, and then we will single crochet once again. Now we are just going to do one single crochet just into the next stitch of the body. Now we're going to grab the next leg and we're going to do the exact same thing. So go into the first stitch from the inside. So put our hook through there and put our hook through the next stitch of the body and single crochet. And then put our hook into the last stitch of the last round of the leg and the next stitch of the body and single crochet. And now we will single crochet 3 times into the next 3 stitches of the body. And we will grab our final leg and do the exact same thing. So the first stitch of the last round, put our hook in, next stitch of the body, single crochet. And then last stitch of the last round, next stitch of the body, and single crochet. And now for our final stitch, we are just going to single crochet into the next stitch of the body. So this is what it should look like at the end of this round. So you can see the legs are sort of attached, but for the following round, we will be single crocheting around the outside to fully attach the legs. So I'm going to explain that a bit more thoroughly. Basically, round 4 will involve going around only the stitches that haven't been connected. So ultimately, we will just be going around the outside. So all the stitches that we connected in the last round, so these ones here in the leg and the body, like each 2 stitches of the leg and the body here, they will not be gone into in this round. We will not be single crocheting into them. But I'm also going to show you as I go round. So to begin, we're going to do 8 single crochets. So we need to find our first stitch to go into. So how we're going to do that is you can see that this stitch of the leg is connected to this stitch of the body. You can see that they are attached, so we're not going to go into either of those 2 stitches. Instead, we're going to go into this stitch here. So the first stitch of the leg that isn't connected to anything. And we're going to single crochet. And then we're going to single crochet 7 more times around the outside of this leg. So once we have done those 8 single crochets around the leg, we're going to go into these 3 stitches of the body that we single crocheted into last round. So we're going to increase into each of these stitches. So we'll find the first stitch here, and you can see it hasn't been attached to the leg of the body. So we'll go into that stitch first and increase. And then we will go into the next stitch and increase. And the following stitch and increase. And now we are going to go back into the next leg, and we're going to do 8 single crochets round this leg. So we need to find the first stitch that isn't attached to anything. So you can see it is this one here, because this one is attached to the body. So going to go into that stitch, and we're going to single crochet, and then we will single crochet round the leg. And now once you have done 8 single crochets, we are going to go into this one stitch here of the body, and we are just going to single crochet into that stitch. You can see it's not attached to anything else, just this one here. So just single crochet into that stitch. And now we're going to go back into the next leg and we're going to do 8 single crochets around the outside of that leg. So we'll find the first stitch that isn't attached, and it's this one here. So we'll go into that and just single crochet round. And now we are going to do 3 increases into these 3 stitches on the body. So we'll find the first one here. We'll just go into that stitch, increase. And then increase into the next stitch. And the stitch after that. And now we are going to do 8 single crochets round this leg, just like we've been doing. And now to finish off, we're just going to go into the stitch where we put our stitch marker, or the very last stitch for the round. And we're just going to single crochet. So that's just a stitch of the body. And that is round 4 of the body completed. And this is what the giraffe's body looks like so far. So you can see the legs are actually properly connected now. There will be a few holes down the bottom, but we can sew them up later, and they'll just be between the legs and the body. So the next few rounds are going to involve quite a few color changes along the sides of the bodies, as we will be making the patches. So in the written pattern above, when a single crochet is underlined, so 3 single crochets for example is underlined, that means that we will be doing those 3 single crochets in brown. But if those single crochets are not underlined, it will be in yellow. But I will be talking you through the first round anyway. So we are going to begin by doing a single crochet in yellow, but we are going to color change to brown as we are single crocheting. So as I showed you last time, to do the color change, we are first going to go into the stitch in yellow and pull through in yellow. And then we're going to grab our brown yarn and we're going to finish off the single crochet in brown. So we'll just pull through with the brown yarn, just like that. And now we will tie the yellow and brown yarn together. So now we are going to do 3 single crochets with the brown yarn. So 1, 2, and 3. But on the last single crochet, we're going to change back to yellow so we don't finish off the single crochet, and we're just going to grab our yellow yarn to finish that off. So just like that, we have done 3 single crochets in brown and we've color changed back to yellow. Then we're going to do 6 single crochets in yellow and then change back to brown. So we're just changing back to brown here. And now we will do another 3 single crochets in brown. Then we will change back to yellow. And now we will do 11 single crochets in yellow. Then we'll bring our brown yarn over and pull through to color change back to brown, and then we'll do another 3 single crochets in brown. And then we'll change back to yellow, and we will do 7 single crochets in yellow. Now we'll do another 3 single crochets in brown before changing back to yellow, where we'll do 9 single crochets. So then for round 6, we're going to do similar to the last round with lots of color changes, but I will not be talking as I do it, and we will just be doing a single crochet in yellow, 4 single crochets in brown, 5 single crochets in yellow, 4 single crochets in brown, 10 single crochets in yellow, 4 single crochets in brown, 6 single crochets in yellow, 4 single crochets in brown, and 8 single crochets in yellow to finish off that round. So I know that sounds really complicated, but just read the top of the screen as you are doing it and you will be fine. So that is round 6 complete. And for round 7, I won't be reading out loud what you'll be doing, but it's written at the top of the screen. It's pretty much the same deal as last time, just lots of color changes. So at this point we're going to grab our scissors and we're just going to chop the brown yarn off. And we can just tie it to any other strand of yarn that we have inside here. And we will be doing more color changes soon, but not in the following round. So this round will be 10 single crochets, 2 decreases, 8 single crochets, a decrease, 8 single crochets and 2 decreases, and then 6 single crochets and a decrease. And this will only be in yellow. Okay, so for the following rounds, there is something that you need to note, and that is that the decreases should be somewhat towards the back of the body, so the opposite side of where our stitch marker is. And if you have to adjust by a few single crochets to ensure that they are towards the back, then that is all good. We will have a couple of decreases towards the start sometimes, but generally if there is a lot of decreases in a round, then we want them to try and be towards the back. So if your stitch marker is all the way over here or something right now, like when you end the round, you end up over here, then you may want to add a few single crochets at the start and like take them away from the end of the round to ensure that the decreases end up at the back. This round will also have 2 color changes, as we will be adding another 2 patches, so here and here approximately. And we'll change back to yellow at the end. Thank you for watching part 1 of this tutorial. Make sure to go watch part 2, the link will be in the description, to finish off your giraffe.